Do you want to learn more about the real Belize and listen to locals and expat stories that are actually living here in Belize? Well, you're in the right place right now. You're listening to Belize Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Macarena Rose.
Five.
You want to look at the camera every so often.
Okay.
3, 2, go.
Happy beautiful day to you wherever you're watching this interview. And what is it? It's Belize Talk Radio Show, but we are actually filming this today because it's very exciting. We have come to the island of San Pedro in Belize, which is on the big island of Ambergris Caye. And I wanted to take the time to speak with a student that is doing something terrific. And you know, when the youth looks outside of their world and want to make their life and the world of people around them a better place, you want to pay attention, and this is what this lady is doing. Young lady, right? Alice Corrigan, thank you so much for being on the show today. I said thank you for being on the show today, dear. So I know the reason that we had talked about what you're doing with the whiteboards for the school, right?
Yeah.
So I've given you the insider view. It's whiteboards for the school. Now, why would a school need whiteboards? Well, sure, why?
We need whiteboards at our school because it's actually it would make it more efficient to use whiteboards because there would be less cleanup from all the mess of the dust, and it would be better for the students and the teachers because there'll be less of the dust because we already live in like a kind of dusty place where it's being inhaled into their system, so that it can actually cause them to have respiratory problems in the future.
That's true. I know that you shared with us that one of the teachers even carries their whiteboard around.
Yeah.
That's ingenious, but she can't leave it in the classroom, huh? She teaches in different classrooms?
Teachers switch around classrooms for every period.
Oh.
And they have to go up two flights of stairs, they have to come down, they have to go all around the school.
So what brought it to your attention that all of a sudden you're like, you know what, we need whiteboards, let's fix this?
Because of that teacher, because I didn't think that she was going out of her way and to bring her whiteboard around the class so she could teach us. Plus there are also teachers that would go and write all their notes on Bristol boards so they wouldn't have to use the chalk and just like that.
And what is it about the chalk that isn't working?
Well, it's like the dust is making everything messy. It gets all over teachers' hands and arms, so it just makes things harder to do. And it dirties the walls. It also, the little pieces of chalk that are left over also causes problems in the classrooms because students will actually go and stone it at each other as a game, which isn't actually very good.
It's probably not really a good thing. So you've done a lot of figures and math on this. You've actually figured out and broken down how much the whiteboards would cost, how much the markers would cost, everything else, the erasers, what else?
It was how much the whiteboards would cost, how much it would cost to have markers, cleaner, cloths, everything, erasers, everything for 4 years for it to completely work.
And being that this is the only high school on the island, and there's like 600 students, just under, right? And this is something that has longevity, which is really fascinating because it's not something that you're going to get like a chair and it's going to break or something. It's actually going to be up on the wall. And
it's like a whiteboard, and the whiteboards that I looked at are actually like 50-year warranty whiteboards.
50 years is pretty good. You're out of high school by then, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
She's actually an exceptional student, so I was just kidding you on that. Don't stay in high school. So the fact that this high school is here, it's very important to know that the students don't have to travel to the mainland to go to school, of course, and they can be here. I know that you have the Tigers. I hear them practicing, right? The basketball?
Yeah.
They're like number one all the time, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Well, they're gonna say all the time, no matter what, right? Except you. So what kind of feedback have you gotten in response from this, and how long ago did you come up with this?
I came up with this about a couple months ago, and I remember talking to one of my teachers about it, and a couple of my teachers about it, and they were just thinking it was an excellent idea. And they were telling me how much easier it would be for them, and how it would make everything much more better in the classrooms. It would be quicker. It'd be so that they don't run out of chalk. They'll always have their markers. Because when they run out of chalk, they have to come all the way from whichever classroom they're in, they have to come all the way to the office to get their chalk. And then it would just be a lot more quicker.
Save time. Well, the efficiency for sure, because I've even seen on some of the walls here that the chalk is on them too. So.
Oh, because the razors, we don't really have a place to dust them off. So when they come outside, they have to bang them on the walls or on like these concrete things or outside the classrooms, which are seats. And it just makes it messy, and then when people like touch it or lean up against it, it gets all over their clothing. And since we don't only use white chalk, it will actually be colorful chalks, and it will get all over your uniform.
And you notice the white uniform. It fascinates me. Everyone's in white uniforms, and they come so perfectly clean and so perfectly pressed, and they're white. I can barely wear my black and come in pristine like you, so good for you. I want to thank you for being on the show today. I want to thank you, listeners, for I'm so sorry.
The price.
Oh, well, she's reminding me that we need to talk about price. You're a good girl. Talk about the money. That's the business of it. So tell me, what figures have you come up with, and what does that cover?
Well, I've come up with around $15,000 US, and that will cover whiteboards for 25 classrooms, since we have classrooms already, plus building classrooms and IT labs, music rooms, LRCs, and which are learning resource centers. And it also covers the markers for 4 years, the cleaner and the cleaners for the board, the wipes to wipe down the boards, and that covers almost everything you could need for a whiteboard for 4 years or more.
So you've done your diligence.
Yes.
Yes, you have. You've done your diligence, you've done the math, and you've figured out a budget.
Yes.
So I'm asking if anybody's watching or listening to this show that if you want to pitch in on this, to contact us. You all know where to find macarenarose@gmail.com. Give us a text, give us a call, or an email, and we'll put you in touch to figure out how to help on this situation. Because it's going to be a fun project to come in and see that they've actually, well, one, you came up with the idea, two, you followed through with it, and which is always positive.
Yes.
And three, it actually allows other students to think out of their box, to go, how can I make my school a better place? And look what Alice did. She had an idea, and look what happened. And you know what? I can come up with an idea how to make my community a better place. And that is truly what we all want in this world with our family and with our children. So this is why we support this completely. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Macarena Rose. It's an honor and privilege, as always, for Belize Talk Radio.
Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena.